Happy Saturday. It is inflation prediction time. I'm also going to talk about oil and the TMX. An interesting proposal from Saab. And some comments about the Liberal housing plan. Yeah, I know it's 4 things, but I'll be quick. First up, China's buying our oil. US-Canada trade strains alters trans-mountain oil flows, but it's not just the problems we've had with the US. It's the problems China has had with the US. Now, many loud voices from Alberta say the federal government does nothing for Alberta. But the federal government increased the capacity of the Trans Mountain Pipeline from 300,000 barrels per day to almost 900,000 barrels per day. That's almost a quarter of our output. Canada produces a little over 4 million barrels per day. That's almost 1 million, so almost a quarter. Now, I'd like a full breakdown of where that oil is going because we should be at full capacity. This article says that China is buying 207,000 barrels per day compared to the US buying 173,000 barrels per day. And China wants to diversify its sources because right now it's relying very heavily on Iranian oil, which has sanctions, which adds to the problems that China already has with the United States. Their loss, our gain. Speaking of their loss, our gain, the decision has not been finalized on whether Canada is buying the F-35 from the US or the Saab Gripen. And Saab is making it very difficult to choose the American jet. From Saab's website, the Made in Canada fighter, the Gripen program will create 6,000 new high-paying jobs across Canada per year over the course of a 40-year period. It's a little misleading. It's not going to create 6,000 new jobs every year for 40 years. It's going to create 6,000 new jobs, and those jobs will be in place for 40 years. Gripen will be built, maintained, and upgraded in Canada together with our Canadian partners following contract award. In addition to the manufacturing, Saab will establish a Gripen Center in Montreal that will employ Canadians to manage and maintain the country's Gripen fleet and a cyber resilience center in Toronto. That's a pretty tempting offer. Who do you trust more, Sweden or the United States? If it were up to me, I'd pick Sweden. All right, last one before I get to my prediction. Construction industry president praises Liberal cost cut, opposes public home building agency. My coffee hasn't kicked in yet. Long story short, it's all there in the title. Do I agree with this opposition? No. I think a public home building agency is absolutely necessary. Home building in Canada has to be transformed. It will not be transformed by simple market forces. It has to be dragged kicking and screaming into the future. Now, I understand the opposition to this, right? It's more competitors in the market. But it's at a time when that market needs that competitor. In my opinion, the construction industry needs to find a way to embrace this and see it as an opportunity. Let's face it, if private industry can do this cheaper, faster, and better than the government, then the government will step away. All right, the big one. The inflation report for April comes out next week. And of course, April saw the end of the consumer carbon tax. From RBC, we expect after-tax price growth in the Canadian Consumer Price Index to drop to 1.6% for April. And the story is all gasoline. Removing the carbon tax brought gasoline prices down 17 cents across the country for the provinces using the government's carbon tax. But oil also collapsed because of what happened in the US, that whole Liberation Day thing. From Gas Buddy, there's the average price of gasoline. There's the 10th of April right there, 22nd of April, and there's the beginning of May. So there's the average price of gasoline. So between 131 a liter and 134 a liter, I went with 133 a liter. But the whole trade war thing will have affected prices as well. But 1.6? That's like a doubling of the month-over-month price growth. I'd be really surprised if prices went up that much. Yeah, they went up, but did they go up that much? So I'm thinking 1.4. Now, consensus seems to be 1.6. Trading Economics is saying 1.7. So I'm not going to lie, I feel like maybe I'm way off. But I keep checking my numbers. 1.4 is the number. What do you think? Am I right? Or are the pros going to beat me this month?